Hey everyone, this is Sam from Fair Flipping. This video is going to be a little different. It ended up being way longer than it should be. Apparently a job like this gives me way too much time to talk to the camera. Essentially what I've got here is a stack of PS2 games, and I'll be revealing them in the video in just a minute. But I'm going to be recording everything as a voiceover just for the sake of brevity. I'm going to try and cut that 45-minute video down to about 10 minutes. So most of the video you'll see will be at either 4x or 32x speed, just to kind of keep things moving real fast, and I'll give a quick little commentary-like thing on what's actually going on the screen. So without any further ado, here is the big reveal. This is the only part that was quick. Everything else ended up just being a whole lot of me talking to the camera, and yeah, that's not me. So I've got a stack of PS2 titles. Not all of these are in any kind of condition to sell, and if you'll notice, 2 from the right is actually a DVD with Brad Pitt in it. I'm going to throw that into the box with whoever buys these. The only way they'll know that's coming is if they order, or if they watch the video. The very first disc I pulled out was a PS1 disc, and I'm not even going to mess with it. But as you can see, some of these are incorrectly boxed, or not boxed at all. They are all in very rough shape. A few had the manuals, but most didn't. It really looked like somebody had just ground these into the floor. ATV Off-Road Fury 4 there had some disc rot and a broken center spindle, so I'm not going to be selling that one. But I've just finished going through all the discs and looking at them, so now I'm going to move on to testing. I tested them one at a time, and this was a lot of video right here that is being compressed down. Right out the gate, that Off-Road Fury with the broken spindle didn't boot at all. I moved on to Backyard Wrestling 2, and it played just fine. You can see here that I managed to get into a round and get about halfway through it, and I got bored with it. Up next was Ratchet and Clank, and it also worked. As you can see, it made it through the cutscenes, the first ones, and I did some play, and it was fine. After that is the Jet Li Rise to Honor, which also, as you can see, played through just fine up until the first little battle here with a boss. Another Ratchet and Clank, this one, Going Commando. It has the book with it, which is nice. And it works. It made it all the way through the first cutscene with no juddering or stopping. And I played it for a little while before I got realized what I was doing and I needed to move on. Shrek 2 played, but it has scratches on the label side of the disc, so I'm not going to sell that in this lot. Next, I moved on to Tony Hawk 4, and my camera cut out on me. So here in just a second, you'll see it kind of just does a big jump cut, and that's because my camera just stopped working. So I moved on to Nightfire, and it played until the first cutscene, and then it froze up right there and wouldn't move anymore. Next was Bully, and my PS2 didn't even recognize that a disc was inserted yet. It was one of the worst ones and one of my favorite games, so I was real keen to get that one fixed. Next is an ATV game, off-road something, quad power adventure, who knows. And then the very last one was Fantastic Four, and it booted, played, cutscenes, did the whole thing. I don't know. It was actually it seemed like it might be a fun game if I gave it a chance. So I'm showing you all the ones that didn't work. You didn't get to see the testing for gun either. It made it to the first loading screen and then just stopped. So I've moved to the workbench now, and I'm preparing to resurface them. I'm going to resurface all of the discs, every single one of them, just because I wasn't happy with the way they looked. Here you can see I was taking some pictures, pointing out the worst of the worst. And then here was the longest part of the video. just buffing, polishing, buffing, polishing, buffing, polishing with the novice there. Doing it by hand, it's kind of a long process, and I talked and talked and talked. So I'm glad I've cut all of that out. So yeah, this goes on for a few minutes. So cue the background track now, and I'll come back whenever I'm done doing this. Basically, my process for this was to use either 1 or 2 rounds of the heavy scratch remover, and then 1 or 2 rounds of the fine, and then I would buff and polish with the number 1, the plastic clean and shine, the anti-static cleanser. I was real happy with the way a lot of these came out. None of them are perfect, but they all look about 1,000 times better. And what's more is you'll see here in about a minute and a half, Bully completely started working. So did Gun. Both of those didn't really get anywhere at all. Nightfire, however, does have some scratches on the label side, and even though I made it through that cutscene, I wasn't really happy with the way it looks, so I've noted that in the eBay description. I'm not expecting to get a lot of money out of these. Although there's some great games here, they were donated to me by my boss, and it was really just some elbow grease and a little bit of novice to get them restored back to working order. So I'm going to start it off at a penny bid, and we'll see where it goes from there. A quick update on the Wii video from last week. It's got 2 days left, and it's sitting at a $12.50 bid, which is more than I got for the Xbox 360, and that kind of surprises me that the Wii is still that popular of a system. So this is most of the games here on the screen now that I'll be selling in the lot, with the exception of Fantastic Four and Gun. I had left those at home, and we're going to do a jump cut now to see me resurface those. And I dropped that disc a little bit, but it was fine. It's already in bad shape. With Gun, I did, I think it was 2 or 3 full passes with the heavy, the fine, the heavy, the fine, the heavy, the fine, and I was happy with the way it came out. You can see there, it's the disc on the left, that it does still have some scratches on it, but not nearly as many as there were. So yeah, next right now is I'm going to be testing Gun and Bully, and as you can see, they both boot now, or well, Bully boots. You can't see Gun until later. And I sat and I played both of these for about an hour each, just to really give them an extra testing, and plus because these games are great. So yeah, this is on high fast forward, and what you're seeing here isn't in any way representative of how long I actually tested. Overall, counting every stitch of footage I had a little over 4 hours of footage, and then I compressed that down to about 45 minutes, and what you're seeing now is the 10-minute cut of that. So yeah, you can see now that Gun is also working, and I'm going to play through it for a little while. But that's about it. These games are going to be up on eBay probably in the next hour, maybe 2. It depends on how long this video takes to apply this voiceover in OpenShot. So yeah, if you're seeing this video or this channel for the first time, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you're here from eBay, leave me a shout out in the description or in the comments, just so I can know that people are actually watching these videos, because based on the analytics from the last 2 videos and eBay listings, nobody actually watched their listing, which, you know, I would absolutely be the guy that would do that. And you'd think more people would want to see what work goes into the things they buy. So like I said, just if you are here from eBay, leave a shout out in the bottom. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next week.